good? You got him in frame? This is my sister-in-law, my brother's wife. She's from the country. Yeah, this is Isaac.
Have you just come here?
She was stuck for 3 years. You know, so
You used to have your dad.
yeah, my dad or my brother. Yeah. All good?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Happy New Year, Isaac. It's been a while since we've chatted. How you been?
Good, thanks, man.
Good. So a few historic things have happened. Let's just talk about some of the nature stuff. You know, we had the flooding, we had the cyclone. How did your new gym hold up? Did it hold up good? Was any damage to your house, surrounding?
Yeah, we had a little bit of damage, but we're not going to moan compared to what some of the country's going through, yeah.
And does that deter training at all? Like, do you have to cancel any, I don't know, power cuts? Your wife mentioned there was 6-day power cuts. So is the training still on? Or how does it work?
Yeah, we trained right through. We had no power for about 8 days, I think, but we just trained. It was hardcore training. We just, yeah.
Does that add to the intensity of the training? Like, without power, like, does that make it more like Rocky Balboa style?
Oh, it's just a pain in the ass, to be honest, but yeah, we just carry on.
So, Mea Motu now, the nightmare is in the spotlight. Tell us, well, what's happening? What's the big announcement?
They should be fighting for a world title in a couple of months. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the date yet or not. They'll tell me, but yeah, so she's fighting for the WBO world title against a Canadian girl, so.
Against who?
A Canadian girl.
Okay, and tell us about the opponent, like how she ranked.
What did I say? Anything about the opponent?
Other than the name, you can, you know, describe, I guess, what you're expecting.
Like, tell us, like, how do you rate her? Like, how good is she? You know?
The girl that we got in mind, yeah, she's not bad.
Yeah.
But to fight me, will win.
So, is this something you've always envisioned for Mea? Like, have you always seen this sort of potential in her, and you sort of always knew she'd be at a world title stage?
Yeah, 100%. That's the only reason we do this. So my goals for all my top guys is to be in world titles, and hopefully this will start a mini world titles for me.
And where's this fight going to take place? In Canada, or it's going to be here in New
It's
Zealand?
going to be in New Zealand. It'll be announced in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. So, how's fight preparation going? Do you handle this fight different since it's a title fight, or is it the same sort of recipe each fight camp?
Nah, it's the same shit. Just the same fight. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just got a title on the top. We start camp this week, basically. We've got about 10 weeks. Yeah.
So, you know, Mea is undefeated. She's fought a lot of local fighters. You know, every time they say when you fight, you know, overseas, they say the level of competition goes up. Do you see much truth in that? Do you think the overseas fighters are tougher?
Oh, we've fought 3 overseas fighters now. Yeah. So, yeah, nah, everyone's human, man. It doesn't matter. I think going overseas into people's back gardens is tougher because you've got the judges and that are cheats. But besides that, it doesn't bother me at all. We'll fight anyone, anyway.
What's Mea's mindset as a fighter? Like, does she get nervous? Does she talk to you? Like, does she tell you, like, oh man, like this is, I don't know. Does she go through those kind of things, or is she quite a relaxed fighter? How do you describe her?
No, Mea's good. Mea's, I kind of plan out what's going to happen, and she sticks to a game plan, and we win the fight. She trains hard. She's very worried about herself. She doesn't worry about the opponent. I worry about the opponent, and yeah, that's how we go.
And you know, the IBO title, what does that mean? I mean, that's a pretty monumental success. I mean, how do you envision, like, what do you, if you win that, what does that mean to you, and for the gym and for your fighters?
It means heaps, man, but I'm not really one to be satisfied. We've got David fighting for a world title in 4 weeks, I think. That's our first. So hopefully that's our first world title, and then we'll have Mea after that. But I think when you're satisfied, you're dead. So I'll be wrapped, but we'll be looking straight away onto the next thing. Yeah.
You mentioned Dave Light. This is a massive fight. 25th March, Manchester Arena against Lawrence Okolie. Massive fight. Tell people that might not be aware of this fight. Just tell them how incredible this is.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's the legitimate world title. It's in a 21,000 seat stadium in Manchester. It's going to be mental. But we're going to go there. We're going to basically no fucks given. We don't give a shit. We're going to go there and take them out. But we're going to win the fight. We're not overawed by the occasion. It's just another fight. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people and a lot of media and stuff like that. But we're kind of used to just walking in and doing our job.
Tell me a bit about Lawrence. Like, how do you rate him as a fighter?
I think Lawrence is dangerous, but he's clumsy, and I think we're going to expose him. I think Lawrence thinks he's really bloody good. I think he hangs out with a whole lot of celebrities, and
Correct.
I couldn't give a shit about Lawrence. I think we're going to destroy him. And I'm going to tell them that at the press conferences. They've got Sugar Hill as their trainer. Who the fuck is Sugar Hill? He trained Tyson Fury. Never heard of him before that. Yeah, he was lucky enough to have a good, uncle. So, yeah, I got no time for the celebrity bullshit. We're coming to fucking win the title.
I guess that's the right mindset to go in. How is fight camp been? Like, have you with all the flooding and have you been able to get sparring partners, and has fight camp been as smooth as possible, or has it been a bit rough?
No, it's good. I've got Matt Mataika in the team now, so he's been great sparring. Junior Far's been really generous by giving us time. So we've had a lot of rounds with Junior, which have been great. And we've got Elijah Mercury, who's a 6'5" amateur that really comes hard. So it's been, got some good big guys. And then we've got Jerome and Russian that to do the schoolwork with them as well. So, I couldn't be happier with where we're at. Yeah.
And with Lawrence, like, what are his danger points? Like, what is he really good at, you know? Like, you mentioned but what is his good assets? Like, how good is he in there? Is he there for a reason? Yeah,
Lawrence hits hard, man. Lawrence knocks guys out. He's 6'5", but at the end of the day, he's got to make 90 kilos. So we're sparring Junior Farr. He's probably 130 kilos. Junior's going really good. He's giving us great work. It's really hard, and I think it's really prepping us for Lawrence. And I don't think anyone's really had the balls to test Lawrence, and David's going to test Lawrence. David's going to give it to Lawrence, and Lawrence better be ready, because we're going to be brutal. Yeah.
And you know, we've seen Dave. You know, he's fought overseas before. I don't know if he's fought in the UK before. Do you think he gets over? Like, how do you think he deals with this? Like, mentally, is he always does overseas affect him in any way?
No, we've done it a couple of times now. We've been to America twice for big fights. It's just another fight. Like, we don't bring a big team. Me and David are going, and his missus early. Boaz meets us there, and that's it. So we don't have this big entourage and all this bullshit. We're just going there strictly to do a job, and we're going to do a job. And anyone in our way, we're going to take out.
And you know, when you go there, it's going to be lights, camera, action. I think right from the get-go, I think there's going to be massive amounts of UK press. You know, all that, the lights and the glamour. Are you ready to deal with that? Like you know, the intensity of it?
Yep. I think we're going to, we talk a bit about that before we go, and we're ready for that. I mean, it is going to affect us in some way. It's going to be a little bit wow when you arrive, I guess, but man, we're just there for a fight. And David's a humble guy. He doesn't get all wow about shit. I don't give a crap about flash stuff.
Yeah.
We're just there really to do a job, and I think the bigger the occasion, the more motivated we are, and obviously you can't get more motivating than this. So.
Yeah. To me, Dave just seems like the most humblest guy ever, like the most realist. I don't know if he's going to get awed by this moment. Like, I don't know, to me, it just seems like he's there, you know?
Yeah, he does. Everyone's human, everyone gets nervous and everything like that, but at the end of the day, Okolie's got everything to lose.
Correct.
Okolie's got everything to lose. And I don't think he knows who David Light is. I don't think he's overlooking us. He's looking at other opponents, blah, blah, blah. We're solely looking at Okolie. I can't wait, man. If we get this right, Okolie's in deep shit.
You've been generous with your time. Just a few more questions. So, do you think you're going to fire some shots at the press conferences? Like, you kind of mentioned you were going to target maybe Sugar Hill. Do you think that will help maybe just take off some of the pressure from David Light? Like, do you think you're going to get a bit combative in the press conference?
I think my role is always to look after the fighter, and anyone tries to fuck with my fighter, I'll take them out. I don't give a fuck who you are. Yeah. So that's my thing. So if they want to start bad-mouthing David in any way, that's not David's job, that's my job. Yeah. I'll attack them. David will be humble, will be awkward and be weird like he normally is, and then we'll get in the fight and kick ass.
And how have you been, by the way? So in terms of preparation for Lawrence, have you been watching a lot of tape, or how do you prepare for this moment? I mean, it's a massive moment for yourself as well. How are you focusing on this?
It's a bit of a process. We do a lot of sparring, a lot of training, and the game plan is kind of shaping up. I'm not one that I'll make a game plan. I'm happy to change it throughout the camp to get it right, and we're getting to a point where we're starting to think we know how we're going to beat him. So it's really a process. I've got to tick off all David's needs, so David knows mentally. It's all about the mind, and it's about David knowing mentally he's fit enough, strong enough. Our tactics, he believes in what we're about to
Correct.
to
That's
do.
the number one thing, yeah.
So really, I'm ticking all those boxes, and once they're all ticked off, we're ready to go, and we're getting close.
So this gym is about to be one of the hottest. I mean, it probably is. But if you get this and then Mea gets this, I mean, you probably. What does that mean? Like for this gym to be probably the number one in the country, probably in Australasia.
Yeah, I mean, it's our goal. I want to have the best fighters in the world. I always said it. People always said we're too far away with this, with that. No, we're not. We're going to do it. Yeah, that's what I want.
Well, wishing you all the best. I mean, I wish nothing but the best. Prosperity, and I hope you. Are you aiming for a KO or just aiming for the belt? What do you think?
We're just aiming to win, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we just want to win.
Yeah.
We're not there. I'm not going to give predictions. We've got a plan in place. I think Lawrence is susceptible to being hurt, so I think a KO is definitely an option. But if that comes, it comes. But we're ready for 12 hard rounds of war, and if it becomes easier and earlier, then fantastic. But I think it's going to be a really hard fight for both guys. Yeah.
Is there like a rematch clause in place in case it's close or nothing?
No rematch. So we're going to take that title and come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, looking forward to it. All the best, Isaac. Thanks for your time.